the Georgian star. Then in the next game against Monza, Khvicha went on and bagged 2 goals. The Serie A seemed light work for him, and honestly it is, because in 19 Serie A games so far, he's got 10 goals and 11 assists. Khvicha...
Yo, nah. Give it up to this guy, man. He's nasty.
And honestly, it is, because in 19 Serie A games so far, he's got 10 goals and 11 assists. Khvicha literally has more goal contributions than Serie A games played this season. That's mad, especially considering that this is his first time playing in a top 5 league. It doesn't stop there.
And that's the thing with Kvaratskhelia. And that's why his potential is so scary. It's his first year, and this man is an under 25 player. Kvaratskhelia, as I said, with a lot of these young players, that he has at least another 7 good years in him. I hope so. I pray to God he does. Another 7 good years. The potential he has. Mr. Kvaratskhelia, as if we've not talked about this guy enough on this channel. We're back again, but this time a bit different. We're reacting to Kvaratskhelia in a different manner. Nabuto, I think that's how you pronounce his name, made a great video on Kvaratskhelia and how he came to this level at Napoli and the impact he's had this season. So I thought that's a great video, that's a great idea. I've not watched the whole video yet, so I'm going to react to it now with you guys. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description below. Be sure to go and show him some love afterwards. But without wasting any more time, guys, let's get straight into it.
Khvicha Kvaratskhelia has been lighting up the Serie A with Napoli this season.
Facts. Lighting up is an understatement. This man's playing ability, he's given a lot of Napoli fans the hope that they've been lacking for a couple of years. Osimhen up front as well, you can say a lot of the same things about Kvaratskhelia. But Kvaratskhelia is, like, you look at his potential and what he can be in the future, and it's truly disgusting. The passing ability, the dribbling ability, the finishing that was more prominent at the beginning of the season. Kvaratskhelia has the potential to be the best player in the world, and I think that should not be understated.
He's been showing how good he is lately, scoring extremely well, taking goals, and displaying his incredible dribbling ability. In fact, he's been so good that Napoli fans are even comparing him to the legendary Diego Maradona and gave him the nickname Kvaradona, despite him...
Yo, that nickname, it might be a little bit crazy, but, if I was a Napoli fan, I would be over the moon and making those comments as well, just because of how good he is.
Moscow, one of the biggest clubs in Russia, signed him on a loan deal. The Russian league was already underway, meaning that Kvicha was only going to be at the Moscow club for half a season. This also means he didn't get to play much and only got to play 7 games and scored 1 goal in the league. However, Kvicha showed signs of his talent in these games, and the former Lokomotiv Moscow manager, Yuri Semin, wanted the club to sign him on a permanent deal. However, the club failed to agree on a permanent transfer with Kvaratskhelia, and Yuri Semin came out and said, "Losing that extremely talented boy made me cry." Damn, Yuri...
Yo, with that manager... That manager knew what he was talking about. That manager knew. And it's really, especially in youth systems, having those managers that show all that belief in you, it makes a world of a difference. And, a lot of times managers are wrong, like of Benafra, of Bebe, etc. There are a lot of young players that came through that the talent was not quite there. But with Kvaratskhelia, shout out to this manager, man. He knew what he's talking about.
Moscow, one of the biggest clubs in Russia, signed him on a loan deal. The Russian league was already underway, meaning that Kvicha, born 2001, Kvicha's performances at Rubin Kazan finally signed a permanent deal to another Russian club called Rubin Kazan. Kvicha's performances at Rubin Kazan finally led him to get more mainstream attention, with top European clubs finally taking notice of him. And how could they not? He was so underrated just because he played in the Russian league. However, Kvicha was so good that in Leg Keep's list of the top 50 best young players in the world born 2001 or after, Kvicha was on the list at the number 34 position, being the only
wait, let me finish.
Player on the list that played in the Russian league. With the
There it is, because I'm looking at the list and you see Independiente del Valle, Palmeiras, Arsenal, Real Madrid. These players are all in big clubs, in big leagues. Kvaratskhelia is playing in the Russian league. Do you consider the Russian league a big league? Bro, be honest. Do you watch the Russian league? No, nobody watches the Russian league. No disrespect to the Russian league, of course. But most football fans are not watching the Russian league like that unless you are in Russia. So for this guy to be in the top 50 already, as an unknown name, that spoke volumes of his talents. Volumes of his talents. We were just here.
and led Keep's list of the top 50 best young players in the world born 2001 or after. Khvicha was on the list at the number 34 position, being the only player on the list that played in the Russian league. With a publication as big as Led Keep taking notice of the boys' talents, obviously big European clubs were taking notice as well, and it felt like Khvicha should already have been playing in a big Western Europe club and not in Russia. However, Khvicha staying in Russia,
Look at that goal. That's nasty.
Khvicha should already have been playing in a big Western Europe club and not in Russia. However, Khvicha staying in Russia was a pretty smart idea because he wasn't ready yet despite being really talented. That's because in his first season he only managed to get 3 goals and 5 assists in 28 games. Not bad, but he definitely needed to improve on these stats if he wanted to shine in the biggest leagues. The next season, Khvicha obviously improved with Rubin Kazan, scoring 4 goals and getting 8 assists in 23 games. This is definitely an improvement compared to last season, and he's showing that he's starting to get used to playing professional footballer at a higher level compared to Georgia. He also finally started to play with the Georgian senior national team and participated in the World Cup qualification games. And although Georgia didn't qualify, Khvicha did manage to get 4 goals in the 6 games he played, which pretty much signifies that he's a star player for the country considering how crucial he is for the team. For the 2021-22 season, Khvicha was ready to go again for Rubin Kazan and was happy to play his 3rd season for the club. Now his stats definitely downgraded compared to the last season, with him only getting 2 goals and 5 assists in 19 games. However, he was getting more consistent minutes for Rubin Kazan, which is obviously a plus. But then, something crazy and unprecedented happened with Khvicha's time in Russia.
The Russian president says a military operation is now underway in eastern Ukraine.
And there are reports of explosions
We all know what happened with that, bro. Shameful.
and attacks at several
Shameful behavior. And the worst part, I think, about, this war, I don't want to talk about politics a lot, but the worst thing that's happening about the war is it's putting a lot of people that had nothing to do with it, people that did not support it, out of business. The Russian league, for example, a lot of businesses in Russia, a lot of businesses in Ukraine, the Ukrainian football league. I'm just talking about football because it's a football channel, but you can really begin to see the big scope of what it did.
major Ukrainian cities.
Russia decided to invade Ukraine in late February 2022. FIFA obviously was not happy with what Russia were doing, so they eliminated all Russian clubs from European competitions and even banned Russia from the World Cup in Qatar. Additionally, FIFA announced that due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, foreign players in Russia can suspend their contracts and were allowed to sign with clubs outside of Russia even though the transfer window wasn't open. Kvicha took advantage of this opportunity and made the decision to suspend his Rubin Kazan contract and decided to join Dynamo Batumi in Georgia. At the time, this did feel like a step back in Kvicha's career, considering that the Georgian league is a step lower than the Russian league, which already isn't the best league itself. However, it really wasn't Kvicha's choice to go back to Georgia. He desperately wanted to move to clubs in Western Europe, and the Georgian national team manager Sagnol tried to help him with the move. However, it didn't work out due to the fact that there was skepticism in signing the Georgian star. Sagnol was even told that one of the reasons
we're seeing Kvaratskhelia good right now, but as we saw, like 8 goals and 8 assists and 5 goals in 23 games. That doesn't really in the Russian league doesn't really exude much confidence, does it?
That big European clubs didn't want to sign Kvicha is because he's just Georgian, he's not Brazilian, it's less glamorous. These reasons were why Kvicha had no choice but to go back to Georgia and play for Dynamo Batumi. Now, citizens of Georgia were already obsessed with Kvaratskhelia. In fact, according to the New York Times, whenever any Georgian club played Kvicha's team, the atmosphere became like a top Champions League game. Every single seat in the stadium was sold out just so they could watch the future star boy of Georgia. His amazing dribbling technique always kept the fans engaged with the game and even cheered him on after every single touch. Not just the fans of Dynamo Batumi though, but even the rivals were cheering for him too. That's how you know Kvicha was already well on his way to becoming Georgia's best world-class player. Now, Kvicha enjoyed his short spell with Dynamo Batumi, with him getting 8 goals and 2 assists in 11 games, and almost having a goal contribution in every single league game.
There it is. See, that's the thing now. That's the thing. That's the improvement, which will, as hopefully we're gonna see soon, is it opens up the eyes of that skepticism. People weren't really sure on Kvaratskhelia, but you're putting up performances like that, which is 8 goals and 2 assists in 11 games. Even though it's the Georgian league, numbers like that, that's tough.
Played that season. Clearly, Kvicha had become too good for the Georgia league, and the summer transfer window had to be the time where he moved to a top 5 European league. And that's exactly what he did. In the summer, there were a ton of big European clubs after him, with Ajax, Juventus, and Napoli being the front runners. Ajax decided that they didn't want to spend in the 8-figure range for someone who did well in the Georgia league, so they backed out. Now, Juventus were apparently the leaders in the race compared to Napoli. However, due to the sporting director of the club, Fabio Paratici, leaving Juventus to join Tottenham, Juventus couldn't get the deal done. That's when Napoli decided to snap Kvicha up for around 10 million euros and got him on a deal lasting until 2027. And
Yo, shout out to Napoli, man. Shout out to Napoli. They secured their future in a brilliant way. that's scouting perfection, and that's having the faith on that player as well. I think that's also why Kvaratskhelia performed so well for Napoli, where he gave everything that he had on the pitch for them. That confidence they gave him, the boy ran with it.
Nobody expected what Khvicha has accomplished this season. It all started in Khvicha's debut for Napoli against Hellas Verona, where Napoli won 5-2. However, that's not the important part. In the first Serie A game of his life, Khvicha managed to score and assist on his debut, an extremely strong start for the Georgian star. Then in the next game against Monza, Khvicha went on and bagged 2 goals.
Oh, look at that finish!
Extremely strong start for the Georgian star. Then in the next game against Monza, Khvicha went on and bagged 2 goals. The Serie A seemed light work for him, and honestly, it is, because in 19 Serie A games so far, he's got 10 goals and 11 assists. Khvicha.
Yo, nah. Give it up to this guy, man. He's nasty.
And honestly, it is, because in 19 Serie A games so far, he's got 10 goals and 11 assists. Khvicha literally has more goal contributions than Serie A games played this season. That's mad, especially considering that this is his first time playing in a top 5 league. It doesn't stop there.
And that's the thing with Kvaratskhelia. And that's why his potential is so scary. It's his first year, and this man is an under 25 player. Kvaratskhelia, as I said, with a lot of these young players, that he has at least another 7 good years in him. I hope so. I pray to God he does. Another 7 good years. With the potential he has, in my opinion, in terms of potential, he might have better potential than Mbappe. Because he's, like, with everything on his arsenal and everything that he does well. Yo, Napoli, 2027, the transfer record may be broken again by one of these big clubs.
There though, because in the 6 Champions League games he's played in so far, he's gotten 2 goals and 4 assists, and absolutely cooked Trent Alexander-Arnold when they faced giants Liverpool in the group stages. The world was finally taking notice of Khvicha as Napoli sat back and realized they've got themselves a gem. In fact, Khvicha was doing so well that the Napoli fans gave him the biggest compliment that he could possibly ever receive. They gave him the nickname Kvaradona, which is his name mixed with the legendary Diego Maradona, one of the best players of all time.
One of the best players is an understatement. At the bare minimum, a top 3 player of all time.
And the best player to play for Napoli. Napoli fans adore Diego Maradona. He is everything to them. They've even named their stadium after him, the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, and even permanently retired the number 10 jersey because of him. So the fact that Khvicha is being compared to Diego Maradona by Napoli fans themselves is already a huge compliment to the Georgian star boy. Khvicha, more than anyone, reminds Napoli fans of Diego Maradona due to
and Kvaratskhelia wears my number. My number is 7'7" when I used to play.
It was direct style of dribbling and deadly pace, which makes it so hard for defenders to stop him, just like it was with Maradona himself. To sum it up, Khvicha is a star in Naples, just like Maradona was back in his day. Khvicha has finally taken the world by storm that it was about time that the mainstream media gave him his flowers that he deserves. Even recently, Liverpool legend and now football pundit Jamie Carragher came out and said that Khvicha is a special player and can achieve anything in his football career. Carragher also said that he could totally see him at the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid. That's funny he said that because Kvaratskhelia has expressed before that he had been a Real Madrid fan since childhood, and his biggest dream is to actually win the Champions League with Real Madrid. If Khvicha keeps up at this pace, these
Florentino. It's a shame that Vinny is there, because Vinny is already one of the best players in the world. If Vinny was not there, Florentino, come on, bro, you know what to do.
These dreams he has could definitely turn into reality. I see the vision. Khvicha overall is an extremely talented player and is someone who has become one of Europe's best players this season. Everyone is so in awe of him that every day there's a new highlight video of Khvicha's amazing season at Napoli. At the moment, nobody has anything bad to say about Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Everyone is just enjoying watching him play the beautiful game. He also could be the man that could finally get Georgia qualified for their first official international tournament. With Euro 2024 qualifications coming up and with Georgia being in a doable group, it's possible Khvicha could lead his country to glory, especially considering that Georgia have been in good form and have been able to stay undefeated since December 2021, besides the loss to Morocco right before the World Cup. Anyways, I'm just excited to see Khvicha continue to take the footballing world by storm, and who knows, maybe the next Diego Maradona is actually being made right in front of our eyes. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to subscribe if you really enjoyed this video.
Yeah, shout out to Nabuto for this video first and foremost, bro. That's a W video from Nabuto. And yeah, I'm planning to do more reactions like this. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of content. Drop a few more videos that you want me to react to in the comments, or DM me on Instagram. Like this video, subscribe, do all that good stuff, guys. And I'll be seeing you very, very soon.